In a shocking twist of fate, 27-year-old Ashley Coleman found herself entangled in a murder investigation. Surveillance footage captured her vehicle picking up 17-year-old Hakeem Griffin White mere moments after he had shot and killed another man. The couple, who appear to flaunt their reckless lifestyle, are showcased in a brazen Facebook Live video that has since gone viral. The couple's chilling bravado is evident as they openly admit to committing violent acts without an ounce of remorse, branding themselves as modern-day Bonnie and Clyde. Reporter Ace Demon Fernandez unearths online videos that now serve as damning evidence against them. In one particularly alarming Facebook Live recording, Ashley Coleman and Hakeem Griffin White boldly display weapons and ammunition. The disturbing footage has captured the attention of law enforcement and the public alike, unveiling the couple's reckless disregard for life. Coleman unabashedly claims her role as the Bonnie to Griffin White's Clyde. Following the tragic killing of 19-year-old Drake Easton in South Oak Cliff on March 2 end, the two murder suspects appear to boast about their violent exploits in the very videos that will soon seal their fate. Investigative documents reveal that witness testimonies and the incriminating video footage were crucial in linking Ashley Coleman and Hakeem Griffin White to Drake Easton's murder. Surveillance cameras captured the victim's last moments, providing a haunting glimpse into the violence that unfolded. As police pieced together the timeline, they identified Hakeem, clad in black, as the shooter who approached and fired upon Easton. Meanwhile, Ashley's role as the driver of the getaway vehicle, a red PT Cruiser, positioned her as an integral part of the crime. This part of South Oak Cliff, notorious for its history of violent crime, would soon be etched into the annals of a chilling case. A chorus of neighbors who witnessed the harrowing shooting spoke only in hushed tones, their fear of retaliation silencing their voices before the cameras. In stark contrast, Coleman and Griffin White seem to revel in their notoriety on social media. Ashley, an aspiring rap artist, is infamous for her provocative music videos, a reflection of her audacious lifestyle. Ashley is painted as a gun-wielding gang member, a figure embodying the threat of violence that haunts the community. Now behind bars, the self-proclaimed Bonnie faces serious charges while her teenage accomplice is locked up, both awaiting their day in court. Initially, detectives treat Ashley as a potential victim, though the tide may soon turn. Claiming ignorance to Hakeem's deadly intentions, Ashley insists she had no foreknowledge of the murder that would unfold. However, suspicions arise as detectives note her behavior post-shooting. She quickly concealed her purse, which contained the murder weapon. The investigation delves deeper into that fateful day in the parking lot. As Ashley recounts her version of events, she paints a chaotic scene. She was momentarily distracted, speaking to her mother on the phone, when Hakeem unexpectedly leaped from the vehicle. Frantically, she urged him to stop, fearing the police were nearby. Desperation seeped into her voice as she recalled her pleas. "What are you doing? The police are right there." Yet her warnings fell on deaf ears. In a haze of confusion, she returned to the car, unsure if it was before or after the shots rang out. "I didn't see him hit him," she confessed, her memory fragmented. "I just heard the gun go off." The sound of gunfire rattled her nerves, leaving her uncertain of the count 2 or 3 shots, perhaps, but the chaos clouded her recollection. Overwhelmed by fear, Ashley drove forward as Hakeem shouted, "Go, go, go!" The weapon was pointed in her direction, a chilling reminder that her life was now intertwined with his violent choices. "If I go, you go," the unspoken threat loomed in the air. Panic surged within her. "I can't let you go now," she thought, desperation driving her to keep him close. "Why did you do that?" "Oh my God, why did he do that?" she pleaded, grappling with the surreal horror of their reality. Hakeem's explanation, laced with a twisted sense of justification, revealed his motive. He claimed a long-standing feud with the victim, asserting that the deceased had once tried to kill him while he held his sister. Ashley recounted the moment Hakeem re-entered the vehicle, gun in hand, issuing threats that would haunt her. He had already demonstrated his capacity for violence, having assaulted her previously, leaving her in a state of fear and confusion. "Do you know what happened to the gun that Hakeem used to shoot the boy?" she asked, her voice trembling. Hakeem's terse reply sent chills down her spine. "It's in the purse." The gravity of their actions weighed heavily as she pressed him. "Where'd you all put the purse?" His evasive answer hinted at a desperate attempt to distance himself from the evidence. "I tossed it over by Lady Dior," he warned, a chilling final note, beware of dogs. In a tense moment, the investigator pressed for details regarding the gun used in the shocking crime. "Do you know what happened to the gun that Hakim used to shoot the boy?" he inquired, to which the suspect coolly replied, "It's in the purse." The investigator followed up, "Where did you all put the purse? What did he do with it?" The investigator pressed further. The suspect responded nonchalantly, revealing he tossed it over by Lady Dior, adding ominously, "Beware of dogs." As events unfolded, a witness reflected on the chaos. The question lingered, did he know that the shooting was about to happen? In a moment of disbelief, they recalled how he jumped out of the car while on the phone with his mother, who was urging him to get his life in order. The witness confirmed they had no forewarning of the impending violence. When he returned to the car, confusion clouded the air as they exchanged words about the unfolding tragedy. Curiosity piqued, the investigator pressed for details about that encounter. The witness recounted the moment he returned, claiming he had just shot someone. The weight of that revelation hung heavily in the air. The detective interrupted, affirming they had everything needed for the investigation. The witness's purse had been recovered, and they were eager to understand where it had been found, a small victory in a sea of chaos. Relief washed over the witness as they learned the purse had been found by the gate. Ashley, anxious to regain some semblance of normalcy, inquired about using her phone. Ashley hoped to pull up one of her many Facebook profiles, desperate to show the detective the messages exchanged with Hakim. Her recent name change on this account raised eyebrows, as it coincided with her discussions regarding the shooting. The investigator pressed for clarity, asking why she had changed her name. Ashley explained her attempts to log in, only to be met with barriers due to the name issue. Frustration gnawed at her, but she complied, realizing the necessity of cooperation. The need to change her name again weighed heavily on her. She explained the complications this caused as she struggled to access her own accounts. Still, she thanked the detective for taking the time to assist her with the name change, a small gesture in the midst of a larger chaos. The detective emphasized the importance of using real names on Facebook, encouraging everyone to adhere to their everyday identities. Ashley understood this directive, recognizing the significance of transparency in such a fraught situation. In a moment of confusion, Ashley expressed her frustration. She recounted how she was known by her mother, yet felt compelled to change her name. As she spoke, it seemed clear that there were whispers of a police report looming in the background, making her feel as though someone was trying to pry into her life. Ultimately, she settled on a random name, feeling the pressure to comply. Ashley wanted to be transparent, expressing her desire to use her real name. The investigator probed further, questioning whether anything incriminating might be found on her phone. In a moment of denial, she assured him that there was nothing linking her to the murder. The investigator pressed on, seeking confirmation about any involvement. Dean, the suspect, had claimed innocence, insisting he would never commit such an act with Ashley's son present. The witness could feel the tension rising. The investigator called out Dean's deception, revealing that he had lied about his actions during the critical moment. They pointed to conversations with Aaron, highlighting the inconsistencies in Dean's story. The truth was beginning to unravel. A video surfaced, capturing Ashley's initial police questioning. In a desperate bid for sympathy, she had claimed to be pregnant, perhaps believing this would paint her as a victim. However, the police had other plans. They took her to the hospital for a pregnancy test, which revealed the stark truth she was not pregnant. The investigator pressed for confirmation, questioning what the hospital had said. Ashley stumbled over her words, trying to explain her previous ectopic pregnancy. She described her past experience, revealing how it could create misleading hormone levels. The investigator listened, noting the complexities of her situation, but remaining focused on the case at hand. As the investigation continued, Ashley mentioned a video sent by Hakim. She knew his codename was Coco, yet hesitated to allow access. The detective sensed her reluctance, but the truth was imperative. Ashley clarified that the page belonged to her but contained content related to Hakim. The detective pressed for details, seeking the names associated with that account. She felt the weight of responsibility, carefully typing the information to avoid mistakes. The contents of the page were critical, containing a video where Hakim spoke of the events surrounding the shooting. In the video, Hakim laid out the narrative, mentioning Drew and details the detective needed to uncover. He seemed to implicate others while asserting his innocence, creating a web of confusion that the investigators needed to untangle. In a tense exchange, the detective pressed Ashley for details about her social media activity. She claimed ownership of a page that, she insisted, held information crucial to implicating IKM. As the detective scrolled through the content, he wondered why she felt compelled to share details about the murder with the world. "Why are you posting all this stuff on Facebook?" he inquired, his tone revealing the weight of the investigation. Ashley hesitated, responding, "Everything like what?" "Pictures, new pictures and stuff." She seemed evasive, but the detective pressed on. "No, I don't care about that. Why are you posting videos about this anyway?" "What videos?" she asked innocently, but the detective was ready with evidence. "You just said he posted a video." The words hung in the air, heavy with implication. "Oh, he posted it," Ashley replied, a flicker of realization crossing her face. "Then I knew, but you tell me, why is he posting it saying we did?" Her voice trembled slightly as she added, "Yeah, I don't know. Akeem is crazy sometimes. He does seem like the devil." "Let me see." With urgency, she insisted, "Let me show you this one video, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's the last one I want to show you, and then I'm through, I swear." "Last one, last video." The detective noted her anxiousness, a hint of desperation in her voice. "Thank you, because this is giving me peace of mind. So when I go in there, I have peace of mind." "Okay, do y'all still do First 48, she asked, seeking distraction. "No, why not?" The detective replied, curious about her intent. "Because we know," he added, hinting at the depth of their investigation. "Why do you want to be one First 48? You can." "No, I don't want to be afraid of that because I look like that," Ashley confessed, her apprehension palpable. "That's why I was asking you about all that stuff." "No, I don't want to be on there at all. I will make this public." The detective warned her, "No, don't add stuff to make it public." Amidst this exchange, it became clear that Ashley had been caught on camera during the murder, driving her PT Cruiser. After the chaos, she had even posted a video of herself pointing out another PT Cruiser, a detail that would prove pivotal in the unfolding investigation. The suspect claimed innocence, insisting, "This is my PT Cruiser," a statement undercut by the evidence that clearly showed a different vehicle at the crime scene. "Why did they post the video of you walking through the parking lot pointing out another PT Cruiser?" The investigator questioned, seeking clarity. In a moment of panic, the suspect explained, to get the "I don't know how to get them off the list because they were on the yard." The investigator pressed, "Who?" "The people." The suspect replied, "They were saying they were going to kill me. I got death threats." All types of stuff, so I was just trying to make them, his voice trailing off. "I knew I was going to start dealing with the police. I was just trying to back them off," the suspect continued, his anxiety evident. "I got all types of, if you go through my inbox, you'll see I got all types of death threats. They're going to kill me. They're going to catch me running. They're going to catch me walking with my family," the suspect shared, fear etched on his face. "It's all types of stuff, so I just tried to post a video like, 'That ain't even my car,' which I already had my car, so it was senseless. I knew that, so it's not like I was trying to turn you all in because you already had my car when I posted that video," he insisted, desperation growing. "I was just trying to get the people to back off because I was getting outside of death threats. They went up to my cousin's shop and threatened him." The suspect recounted how the victim had previously received his haircuts at the location where the confrontation occurred. "They went up there threatening him, all types of stuff," he explained, the weight of his words palpable. "That's it. So you got all my stuff? If that's the case, you found the first, then you found the thermostat too, right?" The investigator clarified, "I didn't go through your purse or the crime scene." The suspect, defensive, retorted, "You go through your purse." "But I found the gun." The investigator pressed on, "Okay, so the thermostat, are you going to tell him how you feel today?" The suspect's frustration was evident as he replied, "No, I'm going to talk to him again." "How is he going to know that you found the gun?" The investigator queried. "His attorney is going to tell him that—" The suspect, agitated, shot back, "I told y'all." "No, I don't know what his attorney's going to tell him." "How is he going to know?" With a sense of urgency, the investigator insisted, "Because I found the gun. He told me where the gun was." The suspect's disbelief was palpable as he questioned, "You're going to tell him?" "He told you." The investigator affirmed, "He did tell me where the gun was." "You know the same thing about you. You just took me to it." "But he told me where it was," the suspect insisted, his voice rising. He described the house the same way and everything. Yet his frustration mounted. "Yeah, So why did that man say he was bullcrapping? I was getting into it with your partner. The investigator pressed again. I asked him. I said, was he lying? Was he bullcrapping? The suspect's response was a mix of indignation and disbelief. He said, yeah, he was bullcrapping on me. Yeah, because he said you threw it over the fence. If you go through that phone in my purse, you will see that the thermostat is in there, the suspect declared, desperation creeping into his tone. Okay? Maybe even some hair gasket repair too, because that's how badly the car was running. For real. So, you will see that everything I'm telling you is true. The investigator turned to the subject, searching for answers. The subject shook his head. There was nothing on the phone. The investigator assured him he would sift through everything and would update him soon, a glimmer of hope hanging in the air. The subject confessed he was unaware of what was on the phone. He needed to examine everything: the phone, the car, the U-Haul. There was a mountain of evidence yet to explore, and he hadn't even begun to dig into it. The investigator reassured the subject that it wouldn't take months to uncover the truth. While it might not be immediate, a week or two could provide the clarity they needed. The subject was in a hurry, eager to expedite the process. He claimed to be a good person, one who fed the homeless and gave away his belongings. He insisted that he wasn't the type to shy away from helping others. Ashley's voice resonated with sincerity as she spoke about her attempts to move past her troubles. She urged the investigator to focus on the evidence before them, emphasizing the importance of resolving the case. She confirmed that the password provided for the phone was accurate, detailing it carefully. She mentioned photos taken, clarifying that they were not the kind one might expect, but rather images of weapons belonging to the victims. The investigator pressed for clarity regarding the timeline. Ashley assured him that the images were taken before the tragic events unfolded, alleviating some of his concerns as they prepared to dig deeper into the investigation. The subject expressed a sense of relief, believing that if he were needed again, it wouldn't be for long. The investigator nodded, emphasizing that if he required further assistance, he would reach out. Just as the investigator prepared to leave, Ashley interjected, claiming she had vital information regarding another homicide. Her willingness to cooperate with the police brought a sudden shift in the atmosphere. The conversation shifted to a recent homicide in Oakleaf, a case that had left the community rattled. It was a double homicide, 2 lives extinguished in an instant. The investigator expressed a desire to speak with someone connected to the case, seeking clarity amidst the chaos. Frustration crept into the subject's tone as he recounted his attempts to reach Mr. Armandanger, the detective on the case. He lamented the detective's busyness, feeling increasingly hopeless in his quest to resolve his own probation violation amidst the turmoil. The conversation veered back to the double homicide, which had occurred in the river area about a year ago. Despite the time that had passed, discussions surrounding the tragedy were still ongoing. 2 men were seen at the Bird. The informant urged the investigator to check online for the details. He claimed to possess crucial information about the case, leaving the investigator eager for more. In a startling revelation, the informant confidently asserted knowledge of the killer's identity. He had been trying to convey this vital information to the authorities. When pressed on how he acquired such knowledge, he simply stated that he often found himself among questionable characters. The investigator inquired if the killer had confided in him directly. With a sense of urgency, the informant confirmed that he had indeed spoken to the killer. He expressed his willingness to divulge everything he knew, including significant details about the robbery connected to the crime. The informant's knowledge extended to the alarming incident on Sunnyvale, where officers became targets. He claimed to know the identities of those involved, a dangerous insight into a world where loyalty and betrayal often walked hand in hand. In a chilling revelation, the informant recounted the harrowing events when gunfire erupted, aimed at the police. He had ventured to the precinct, hoping to exchange information regarding the escalating violence. However, he was met with the stark reality that protocols had changed. The days of casual conversations with detectives were over. Frustration mounted as he described the bureaucratic runaround he faced. Each visit to the station felt like a futile attempt, yet he persevered. He had signed in multiple times, reiterating his willingness to cooperate. With urgency in his voice, he insisted, "Help me, and I'll help you." His mind was a vault of secrets, particularly one surrounding a homicide that had occurred a year prior in Redbird. Known to friends as Mickey, he resided in a modest apartment complex. Tragically, Mickey became the victim in a deadly confrontation. The other individual involved was known by a different nickname. As one witness recalled, they accessed their Facebook to search for pictures that might help jog their memory. They had posted a heartfelt R.I.P. message for their cousin, noting that one of the photos seemed particularly odd. Curious about the witness's social media presence, the investigator inquired further. The witness explained that they had been gathering information to assist in lifting someone's probation violation, but felt frustrated by the lack of cooperation from authorities. Despite posting controversial content for their fans, the witness emphasized their focus on self-sufficiency. They pointed out their location while trying to recall the other victim's name, confirming that Mickey was indeed one of them, while the other was referred to as T. With a sense of urgency, the investigator pressed for more details. "Do you know who was responsible for the murder?" The witness nodded, indicating they knew of a Facebook user who had confessed to the crime. They mentioned Todd as one of the names involved, along with someone named Becky. The witness hesitated, struggling to recall the name of the shooter. What was clear, however, was the chilling aftermath of the events. Ashley Coleman ultimately faced the consequences of her actions, being convicted of murder. In a surprising turn, her cooperation with authorities led to a reduced sentence of just 19 years in prison. In stark contrast, Hakeem Griffin White, the shooter, received a staggering 78 years behind bars. The implications of Ashley's lengthy criminal history raised questions among the community. What fate awaited her upon release? As the audience pondered these unsettling realities, they were invited to share their thoughts in the comments section below. The case against Ashley Coleman culminated in a staggering sentence of 78 years in prison. Observers pondered the implications of her lengthy criminal history. What fate awaited her upon release? The audience was invited to share their thoughts in the comments below, as the community grappled with the complexities of justice and redemption.